What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. These are the three best gaming distros that are currently available: Nobara, PikaOS, and CachyOS. You guys know Nobara and CachyOS, and the one thing I rarely cover is PikaOS because, well, I'm waiting for PikaOS 4 to come out. The alpha should be hopefully out in a couple days where I can install it and do a whole bunch of content creation videos and other stuff on it and see how things really work. It's currently making the transition to Debian from Ubuntu. What PikaOS does in a nutshell, let's just put this over here, is it takes everything broken about Ubuntu and it basically just fixes it. It takes a lot of stuff from Nobara, combines it with Ubuntu base, and then fixes all of the issues. I could live on this OS for the rest of my life. That's how good and optimized it really is. And it has some of the best gaming performance I've had next to CachyOS, which says a lot because all three of these projects actually work with one another, which is really cool. And I like that a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab PikaOS. Where's the download button? Let's go for the Gnome version. And I don't want the Gnome NVIDIA one because what we're going to be doing is putting these all in a VM next to one another so I can show you the basic layouts of all of these. Because every time that I end up saying, because of you I moved to Linux, I'm now using Mint, I think to myself, I'm very unfortunate to have a Discord because they're going to come in here with problems. And it's happening. And they're not getting their Xbox controllers to boot or to work in games. They're not having certain games work that should work on any other distro. And that's just the beginning of it. And when it comes to emulation, Linux Mint is an abomination that tends to be worse on dependencies that need newer versions of Vulkan headers, Vulkan tools, SPIV tools, you name it. There's a lot of issues that come with using Linux Mint. It's going to make a lot of people angry, but most people can't handle common sense or the truth these days. Sadly, they end up thinking with their heart over their intelligence, which leads to many issues. Many issues. I look at the straight hard facts. I'm as honest as I possibly can be. I go by my experience with different distros. Been down Ubuntu, used Debian, installed Regatta, OpenSUSE, Fedora, everything. You name it, I've used it. And if I keep coming back to these big three, there's a reason for it, because they just work out of the box. They are fantastic, lightweight, super optimized distros, and that's what matters. So I'm going to go download all three, and we're going to boot them up inside of VMs. I'm going to show you their installers. I'm going to go over everything that I can, and then, I don't know, it's up to you to make the decision on where you want to go. Oh, and before I leave you, this is built off of Arch Linux, this is built off of Ubuntu, and this is built off of Fedora 40 currently. There you go. So here are the respected ISOs, and CachyOS is 2.6 gigs, Fedora is 2.3 gigs, Nobara is 3.6 gigs, which is absolutely massive, and this little guy is 2.5 gigs. So let's boot up our VM, which is boxes. Now, as you can already see, I have Fedora and Arch Linux installed, which are also amazing alternatives. And because of that, my voice is now good to go. We're going to install from File, and I'm going to go into my Documents, going to grab PikaOS, because it's the one I don't really mess with the most. And we're going to just label this as, I don't know, that with UEFI. We're going to give it a good whopping 16 gigs of RAM with 100 gigs of space and hit create. Now, the last time I tried this in a VM, it did not have any acceleration, so I don't know if that's changed or not, but I'm hoping it has because Boxes has changed as well. So hopefully it functions and works pretty well. Let me just get you a better view than this, because I want you guys to have the best view possible of everything that's going on. Because I care about you. Is it this one that actually has the crop filter? It does. So we're supposed to be using this one. Okay. There we go. So now it should just look like we're using it on real hardware. Hopefully. Well, it seems to initiate the whole screen. Oh. It tried. Its boot up sound is cringy as hell, which is kind of unfortunate. I will try to make this bigger so we can read it. Let's go with this. There we go. That seems a little bit better. Maybe we can go a little bit higher, I guess. Let's try this. Yeah. That sort of works. Perfect. Alright, so this is the installer of PikaOS, and installed the distro system. We're basically going to do just this, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Next. It's a very weird installer, but I kind of like it. And again, it freezes like it does on the Ubuntu installer. There's supposed to be a visible click button here, but there isn't one. And time zone. Halifax. There we go. And we're just going to select English and automatically partition the drive. Its partitioner relies on gparted, so that's why we're doing this. Maybe I need to show you how to manually partition before anything else. Should we do a manual partition? Let's see. Open gparted. All right, let's authenticate this. Because if I'm going to be doing a video like this, I may as well show you everything. This is probably going to get me a ton of hateful comments about certain things. So I want you to look at this. Boot is supposed to be ext4, 1000 megabytes. Boot EFI is supposed to be 512, and the rest should be 25 plus. Okay, so we're going to right click here. Actually, we're not, because, well, first create a device partition. GPT, hit new. We're going to be making 1000 megabyte ext4. We're going to call this boot. We're going to call this boot and add. Next one, we're going to be creating, again, 1000. Because, trust me, I run out of space by installing a lot of kernels. I guess with this, you don't need it because it will always clear out the last kernel. And, again, it's supposed to be FAT32. It tells you everything right there. Boot/EFI. Boot/EFI. I'm going to add that. And the next one is supposed to be a Btrfs. And we're just going to hit add on that one. And we have 1 megabyte that's on allotted. Like, why are you like this? Can we resize move this? I want my 1 megabyte, dude. It won't let me. Alright, that's it. 3 pending actions. Hit apply. And done. So now when we refresh the partition table, and what we can do is we can start adding these, right? So the ext4 mount point is /boot and validate. Cool. This is also very annoying to work with because, well, /EFI. And for this last one, oh, good God. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get there to add the mount point. There, try that. Damn it. See, this is why I don't like certain things. Because the real one to scroll down is over here, right? So we have to select a secondary partition for this one, which is a real pain in the butt. /boot/EFI. Oh my good God. Can I, like, just thank you? It didn't do anything, but great. Add another one. And we're going to add the very last one in here. And this is going to be just the root. Validate. Next. Confirm. And there we go. We're installing. Sorry about that. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult and annoying to deal with these GUIs. Cosmos, I hope you fix this for Pika 4. It needs to scale better. We need to just have more room. There's so much wasted space, my friend. So the installation is done, and we're going to basically just hit reboot. I cleaned it up a bit for you guys to actually see what's going on. So when we get in here, hopefully it will stay that way so it looks nice and clean. Alright, so it uses Refind. As you can see, we're just going to boot this one. Oh, look at that. Boot from next volume. We're going to boot the first one, I guess, because it still says the ISO. And we're in. And we can't see anything. Ugh. Cosmos, please, please stop with the horrible boot up animations or sounds. They're awful. They're awful. Quit it. So let's start. Network settings is fine. Username, so Matt. Host name. Arch rules, like O'Doyle rules. Password. Password. Oh, there we go. Next. And sure, let's do system updates. This is pretty cool. Automatic update for your systems even before you jump right in. Should get you the newest system possible. And that is always super important. Alright, so the updates did complete. And we recommend updating your PikaOS before proceeding. Update. We already did this. Okay, so next. And this allows you to install all the drivers you need for NVIDIA or CPU microcode. We're going to open up the driver manager just to show you what it looks like. And there's nothing here. Multimedia codecs. You're going to want to install these. Alright, we're moving on. Gonna hit next. And this is for gaming. So if you want Steam, Lutris, the GameScope, and all the other stuff that makes gaming possible, feel free to install this. We're going to install it just so you guys know what it comes with. And it didn't work. So we're going to hit reboot and we're going to see where this brings us. And this is the PikaOS desktop. As you can see, because we installed the gaming meta, nothing installed with the gaming meta. Again, it needed firmwares. I needed dependencies that were not met, which is a normal occurrence of any Debian-based distro or Ubuntu built distro. The welcome, I believe there's a welcome screen here somewhere. Let me see if it's... Yeah. So this is the welcome screen. You might recognize it. They, again, share developers between Nobara, CachyOS, and other stuff, so that's pretty cool. And there's the drivers, everything, recommended additions. Let's try this again. Yeah, unmet dependencies. That's it. Extras, heroic game launcher, bottles. Like, it has everything. Pretty much Steam, Lutris, and all that stuff. And then they got extras, Proton Qt app, which should be replaced, honestly, but hasn't been. I'm not sure if we actually are up to date or not. Let's see. Update. How do you update this thing? I get lost sometimes. It's due to an immense amount of brain damage. Startup applications, package managers. Yeah. Is it? Pika update? No. Okay. Sudo apt update. And let's see if maybe we're just out of date at the moment. All packages are up to date. Yeah. Pika. Install. Is that the correct thing? Could not find command database. I know they have their own little thing here, but I can't remember it. Their version of OBS. Hopefully we're going to be able to install it without an issue. This should have everything you need to be able to run OBS. And that means it should have all the same plugins and stuff as the Nobara one. Maybe just a bit more, who knows. Let's take a look at the OBS, because I'm tired of that screen. Go here, and there it is. So, cancel on opening it up, and I just want to see what it has. So it does application audio capture, browser, plugin, color source, game capture. And yeah, it has everything that I have, which is really nice. It probably supports a lot of really cool things as well. So PikaOS in a nutshell is basically an amazing distro. And it doesn't fare well on VMs, which is sad, but that's the state of everything at the moment. So let's move on to another distro. I'm thinking CachyOS. Okay, it's clearly not showing the window that I just made. We're going to hit create and start it up anyway. Hopefully this will be fine. Now the boot process should hopefully be pretty quick because there's no NVIDIA drivers that we have to deal with. And boot options. Oh, there they are actually. It's showing. It's nice. We're just going to boot up normal Cachy because we don't have an NVIDIA card in boxes. Alright, let's hop into this live environment. So the things you need to know about CachyOS, it has the second fastest kernel next to Clear Linux. It is built off of Arch Linux. You can install any DE you want from the installer. The main thing it goes with is KDE, unfortunately, which means, you know, the buggiest desktop environment alive. And the one that doesn't look the cleanest. And it has its own kernel manager, package manager, things like that. It's just an all-in-one amazing beginner distro that I highly recommend because it will end up giving you the best performance imaginable. And Clear Linux is an odd cookie, so yeah, only use that if you want pain. I love pain though. So this is it in a nutshell, and we're going to turn off the cropping. Can I just like put this back to 0, put this back to 0, put this back to 0, put this back to 0. There we go. So this one does scale in boxes, which is super nice. Now we're going to launch the installer, and there's 2 versions of the installer, I believe, unless I'm thinking about Endeavor offline and online. The default is system boot. It automatically will update in case you install any type of kernel that you want. I recommend systemd boot. It's faster, it's more efficient, it's more modern, and honestly, it works better than Grub. I'm gonna hit next, next, next. Erase this disk. Choose which one you want. Linus Torvald hates this thing so much. He considers it a mistake, which also I do as well. So you can choose no desktop, Plasma, Gnome, XFCE4, Bspawn, Budgie, which is basically again Gnome but buggier, Cinnamon, Cosmic DE, which is pretty awesome. That it's included. It's not an awesome DE yet, but it will get there, of course. And i3, Hyperland, LXDE, LXQT, Mate, which is again Gnome 2, OpenBox. Yeah, that actually looks not bad. Bit too weebish for me. This is Qtile, Sway. This is like the most Windows environment you'll ever find, even more than KDE itself. And Wayfire's kind of new, but you know, it is what it is. So weebish, Jesus. Alright, so I don't want to... Let's just go with the stock install of everything. So CachyOS packages that are there, the browser, this is built off of Firefox. Fish, bleh, hate fish, it's so annoying. It has some rules, the hello screen, the kernel manager, the package installer, the settings, zconfig, micro settings, wallpaper. You name it, and it's got the base stuff. KDE desktop, it's got its own theming. Again, I'm turning all that off because I hate the way it looks. And I also want to install Firefox. And I don't want to install X-Wayland Video Bridge. Now, the one annoyance I have with this, actually there's two, is Fish itself, because it doesn't give you an option not to use Fish. And that's a deal breaker for me most times, because then I have to disable Fish. And the fact that I can't have my one-letter password. So we're going to hit install. And there we go. Now we're installing. Another cool thing is that it will automatically update and grab the newest packages and set the fastest repos as it goes. So out of the box, you're going to have one of the most optimized gaming experience, content creation experiences you'll find. Again, this is the second fastest distro currently available for users. Alrighty then, it is done. We're going to restart in. And there it is. We have a lot of distros installed right now in VMbox, don't we? And this is CachyOS. I was totally talking and not recording. Pretty much, this will always come with the newest NVIDIA driver, as long as that driver is tested and confirmed working and well enough for release. And one of the main development people, Peter, will always do the testing and confirm, and if there's an issue, he'll go and talk to NVIDIA and present the issues, and heck, if I need to, I'll do the same. But here it is. I mean, it looks great. Also, this will always come with the newest kernel, which is super important. And I want to go to the welcome screen here. I don't know where it is. Is it called CachyOS Hello? It is indeed. So this is what will pop up first time. Again, app and tweaks, install apps, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. Discord, Reddit, you name it, it's all there. And I'm going to turn that on to not launch at start. Now, this is where things get a little weird. I don't like KDE. I'm not going to like KDE. People can't make me. I'll tell on you. I'll make your mother let her know that you're a bully. And you'll be in some serious trouble. Now, if you want Steam, all you have to do is sudo pacman S. I believe it's CachyOS Gaming Meta. I believe this is it. Hopefully. Oh, again, wrong password. I'm used to the one-letter password. It is indeed. So basically, I end up going with as few packages from Cachy itself as possible. And that's just because I'm weird like that. I'm going to go with 2. What this is going to go over and install is Steam, Lutris, everything you need from dependency hell to help you run games, controllers, the works. It's super easy, efficient, beginner friendly. It has everything. Everything you can possibly want and more. I don't know if they've added Heroic Game Launcher in with it yet, but if they did, that would be pretty cool. As you can see, sometimes packages fail to download. And that's completely fine. That happens sometimes. It depends on if your clock is right or not. Mine's correct. I guess that package just doesn't get installed. But this allows you to jump into gaming. It also comes with its own version of Proton. I'm going to show you this right here, which is their kernel manager. So this allows you to switch between kernels and schedulers. So if we wanted to, because I have 2 CDCs, I'm basically going to be applying Rusty. Unless this is no longer the fastest one, then I'll find out which one is. But make sure to try each one of these with gaming and see which gives you the best results, because there's a lot of them. This also allows you to switch between kernels pretty quickly. As you can see, there's a lot of them here. And which one's the fastest depends on your hardware. I normally go with this one, but lately I've just been sticking with the stock, seeing what happens. Anyway, that is CachyOS in a nutshell, and what we just ended up installing was Steam and Lutris. Did it install Heroic? It did. Nice. And it also ended up installing Wine. And you should get the newest version of Wine. Possible, I believe it's 9.16, hopefully. It's only 9? Ew. No. No. No, thank you. I'm gonna actually just... Oh, I hate doing this, but... Yeah. Bye. Normally, I end up actually doing this. I don't want to make this video go any longer than it does, but... The Arch Gaming meta. And... This ends up getting me more of what I actually need, which is the newest version of Wine Staging. And... I don't know. It just works a lot better for me in the long run. Like if I do this, hit number 2, hit yes. And again, it's only Wine 9.9, but it's still a lot newer. Wine config. And let's see what pops up. I'm going to install the mono installer. And hopefully it does what it's supposed to do. Yay! And there's Wine.9. I honestly recommend the newest version imaginable. So something like Proton Up, I think it's called, will end up giving you a better wine from TKG. One that's 9.16, because it has a lot of advancement that stabilizes things like Photoshop and Affinity and other stuff, okay? So the next one we're taking a look at is Nobara. Nobara. Yeah. Most people don't understand is I come from a place called Cape Breton. It's on the farthest east side of Nova Scotia. And we cross the bridge. We talk funny. That's what we do. We have our own version of mutated English where we end up just speaking the way we want to speak. And it's part of our culture and our heritage. And we have our own certain phrases for things. So we say names differently than they should be said. And there's a lot of differences in a nutshell between how we speak and stuff. And it tends to offend a lot of people. And to those people who are offended, I really don't give a shit. I'm not going to give a shit. That's the thing. If you get offended over the way someone talks, are you really worth talking to? Be honest here with me. You're not. Not to be that guy, but I'll find better friends. People that understand culture and the way that it happens and how it's important to history and other things. Okay, now that I'm done that rant, Nobara. So this is this installer. You get to choose your language and your location, your keyboard stuff, and erase disk. So let's show the differences. No swap, full drive. Swap no hybrid, it uses about 8 gigs for swap. Swap with hybrid uses as much RAM as you have plus 1 gig. And swap to file pretty much just creates a file to swap to. Swap with hybrid is very well recommended. And we're going to do my name. And ignore that update. You don't want to touch it until we're actually in the OS. And log in automatically without asking for the password. For the love of God, turn this off. And use the same password for the administrator account on. That will come in handy later. And it will save your life. Like a lot. So it's done installing. Let's restart now. And most of you know Nobara already. Nobara. And honestly, it's one of my favorite distros. It's pretty cool. It's got everything that I need and more. Alright, once again, here's the installation. Here's the desktop manager. Down below you can switch between Classic on Xorg, and Gnome on Xorg. Gnome is just Wayland. Okay. And blammo. So it's going to ask you to automatically update since this is your first installation and you're going to do it. And as you can see, the updater is doing its updating thingies. We're just going to let it do its thing. So you want to hit yes when it comes to repairing the media packages and stuff like that. That's important. And once it's ready, we can install the updates, and I'll be back after everything is installed and updated. Okay? All right, now that's done, you're going to want to reboot. Now I'm going to talk about something before you end up rebooting. If you're an NVIDIA user, I want you to do me a favor. Pay close attention. We're going to zoom in real quick, and you're going to type sudo acmods. And then you're going to do this, and you're going to do sudo drawcot-f. Okay? And also do regenerate all. This is super important. Remember that. So when you hit enter, it's going to rebuild all of this if you have the NVIDIA driver installed. This is to avoid a black screen issue or driver bugs. All right? Oh, adding these things in is super important because it helps people in the long run. Rebuilding drawcot's easy, doing acmods is easy, making sure you have proper drivers working, super easy. And hopefully this teaches some people about that. All right, we're going to reboot. Done. All right, so let me go over this real quick with you because there's not much time to do this because we've been here long enough. So this has a welcome screen like PikaOS. As you can see, it's laid out pretty much the same. And recommended additions, their OBS is awesome. I'm currently using it. It has everything you'll ever want. They also include a link for Discord and this. Optional stuff, basically game fix-ups, resolve fix-ups. I don't recommend using this, but there's Proton GE if you want it to install it. A tool to do it, you know, look and feel. So yeah, configure Gnome tweaks, add extensions to your desktop. It's all there. Troubleshooting issues. They have a great Discord, by the way. And if we head in here, you'll notice that it comes with Steam. There it is. It comes with Proton Plus. Great. It comes with Lutris. I will talk to GE probably about adding Heroic Game Launcher. But if you're also in here, you're going to want to pin update system. Do not update your system any other way than this application unless you want to break things. They do have a driver manager, so this will deal with your NVIDIA drivers and other drivers if it needs be. Dealing with your RGB on your motherboard, keyboard, or anything like that depends on the model, but this usually covers it all. And time shift is for backing up your drive, okay? So, and here's your entire office space suite ready to go. Also comes with Inkscape, which I didn't realize, but there's also host remote play, Go overlay, which allows you to deal with Mango HUD. There's just a ton of really cool stuff. It even has its package manager, volume control, you name it. Do you want to know more about how to set up Gnome to make it look pretty? Refer to my video section. We have a ton of that. There's also a KDE version of this. And to make this super quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to install any other desktop environment because learning to do things like this is super important for when you want to customize things. Sudo dnf group list. This will list off every desktop environment that you can install. So if we go up, you'll notice that there's the minimal install, the cloud server, KDE, XFCE, Phosh, LXDE, LXQT, Cinnamon, Mate, Mate, Sugar desktop environment, Deepin, Bungie. It's all there. Like, it's all there and it works. Anyway, now you know what all this comes from. Now you know what the optimizations they do. I didn't really explain the optimizations to the kernel, did I? It's a really hard explanation. It's best just asked in the Nobara Discord or the CachyOS Discord or the PikaOS Discord. Pretty much they all share patches and stuff, which is really nice. So they are all really great distros. And every distro, even the biggest ones, have issues. Sometimes these have issues too. Nothing is perfect. Just remember that, okay? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a long one to make, and I'll see you guys next time. I think I need to put time codes. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.